Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So in today's video we are going to be making a scarf using the star stitch. This is a beautiful stitch, and I know by the looks of it a lot of beginners are intimidated by it and they don't ever attempt it, but I'm here to tell you that you can do it. So let's get right to it. Things you will need include some yarn. This is a medium for this skein, and you should only need one skein unless you're making it super wide and super long, is 5 ounces, 142 grams, 252 yards, or 230 meters. It's 100% acrylic. It calls for a crochet hook USI 9, 5.5 millimeters. Okay, I'm going to be using a 6 millimeter crochet hook size J because of my tension. And if you're wondering whose yarn this is, what brand, I love this yarn. Okay, and it is 512 Kaleidoscope Lot 206 150. Let's just put it up there, be easier. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if they still sell this. I bought this yarn a long time ago and I still have it, but not after today's video. You need a darning weaving tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. Alright, now let's start. So for the new crocheters, you have two options. Normally when you are first starting with a ball or skein or cake of yarn, you can get it from the inside or from the outside. Now you might be looking, you might say, hey, see this going in there, and you might think that that's the one that is on the inside, but it's not. It's actually wrapping around. So if we pull this out, then that would actually be the one on the outside. I prefer to use the one that starts on the inside, because if you use the one on the outside, then your skein rolls all around. Versus, just kind of look there, and you'll see at this other end, that's the one that comes from the inside, and it basically stays in place. Okay, so you have options. Those are your two options. So in terms of how wide you want to make your scarf, it depends on you. What is important is that you crochet an even number of chains. Alright, let's get started. So we will make a slip knot by grabbing it, twist exchange like that, wrap this around your finger, pull that one over that one and off your finger like that. Insert your crochet hook into the loop and pull to tighten. And remember, I said you need an even number of chains. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Full disclosure, I don't know how many chains or how wide I want this to be. I think this is wide enough. So usually I just kind of figure it out as I'm crocheting. Okay, so this is 18 chains. Okay, and this is plenty wide for me. So now I'm going to crochet a single crochet in every single chain across, starting with the second chain from the hook. So I'm going to bypass this first chain from the hook, and go into the second chain right there from the hook. So I'll insert my crochet hook without yarning over first because I'm making a single crochet. Insert it, yarn over, pull through to the front for 2 loops, 1, 2, yarn over, and go through 1 and 2, or everything. And I'll continue doing this. 1 single crochet in every chain across. Let's do one more. Here's the next chain. I insert it, yarn over, pull through to the front for 2 loops, yarn over, go through everything. 1, 2. Okay, one more. Without yarning over first, remember, enter the chain, yarn over, pull through to the front for 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2. Okay? Continue putting 1 single crochet in every chain across, and I will see you on the other side. So I've made my way across, and I actually crocheted 16 single crochets. So I have 16 stitches. I'm not counting that chain that I skipped at the very beginning. I have 16 actual physical single crochets that I actually made. Okay, the next 2 rows are going to be the 2 rows that you will repeat throughout the duration of the scarf. Okay, so pay close attention. So starting row 2, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip this first chain, the first chain closest to the hook, and we're going to go into the next chain and pull up on the loop. When you hear that terminology, pull up on a loop, it basically means to insert your crochet hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull through, okay, and keep that loop on your crochet hook. So we're going to pull up a loop from this chain and from that chain, okay. So once again, skip this first chain that's closest to the hook. We'll go into the next one and pull up on a loop. So yarn over, pull through to the front. Now we have 2 loops on our crochet hook. In the next chain, we're going to do the same thing. Enter the stitch, yarn over, pull through to the front, like that. Now we have 3 loops on our crochet hook. And at this point, we can rotate it like this. So we're actually looking at the back side of the stitches like we normally would any other time we started another row. You know how you normally turn the work, okay? But I wanted you to pull up on those loops before we turned it because I think it's easier to go and pull up a loop through those chains the way we had it angled. Alright, so now this single crochet on the end, we're going to go through the top of that stitch, the single crochet. So as I always say, slice the icing off the top of the cake. And we're still pulling up loops, you guys. We're going to be pulling up loops until we get a total of 6 loops on our crochet hook. We only have 3 right now. 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 more to go. Here's that single crochet. So we'll slice the icing off the top of the cake or that stitch, yarn over, pull through to the front. Okay? 4 loops. We'll do the same thing to the next stitch. Slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front. Now we have 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 1 more, so we have to go through the next stitch, slicing the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front, and now we have our 6 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, so now you guys, this is where we yarn over, and we're going to go through all those loops. So go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Isn't that cool? Alright, now we're going to chain 1 like that. Okay? And we've just created what we're going to be calling an eye. That little ring, see my little finger sticking through there? That's the eye. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to start pulling up loops again so we can make this very cool pattern here. So we will go through the eye and pull up a loop. Okay? And then see all these legs around here? I call these legs. Okay? We want to go to this leg that's farthest to the left. Okay? It's actually right up under the eye. Okay? So now we will go through that, what I'm calling a leg, see? And we're going to pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops. Remember, once again, we want 6 loops on our crochet hook before we close it, okay? And now we want to go, so this is the leg that we just went through to pull up that loop. Now we're going to go into the base where that leg goes into. That's what I'm calling the foot. We're going to go in there, slicing the icing off the top of the stitch, and pull up a loop. Okay, 4. So now we know we need 2 more, so we have to go through the next 2 stitches. So slice the icing, yarn over, pull through. Okay, now we have 5 and 1 more. Slice the icing, yarn over, pull through to the front. And now we have our 6 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we can yarn over and go through all 6 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? And now we're going to chain 1, which creates that eye again. And now we're just going to keep repeating this. So, go through the eye, pull up a loop. Go down the body to the leg, pull up a loop. Go down the body, the leg connects to the foot, right at the base, pull up a loop. That's 4. And now we need 2 more. So slice the icing off the next stitch for 5 loops, and now 1 more time from the next stitch for 6 loops. Yarn over, go through everything, okay, and then yarn over to create the next eye. So eye, leg, foot, and then next 2 stitches. 1, next one, 2. 6 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over and turn your hook so it can go easily through all the loops. Okay? And now we're going to create our next eye by chaining 1. So there's the eye, leg, follow the leg down to the foot, and then we need 2 more stitches, so we have 6 loops. That's 5 and 6. Okay, yarn over, go through everything like that, and you see it's creating this beautiful pattern. Okay, chain 1 to create the next eye, leg, foot, 1, next one, 2. We have our 6 loops, so now we can close it. Yarn over, go through everything like that, and now chain 1 to create our next eye, which is there. Eye, leg, follow it down to the foot, and then 1, next stitch for 2. Okay, yarn over and go through everything. Okay, chain 1 to create the next eye, leg, foot. Okay, and then the next stitch is there, 5 or 1, and then that final stitch on the end, go through there. Okay, can you guys see it? Just if you rotate it, you'll see the top there. Okay, and that's the 2. And now you have your 6 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, go through everything like that. Alright, chain 1 to close it. And now in that same place where we got that, we pulled up that 6th loop, we're just going to put a half double crochet like that. Okay, and this is what we have, you guys. Isn't that beautiful? So that is row 2, and that's one of the 2 rows that you're going to be alternating with. Okay, so we're going to crochet row 3, and then you're going to go and do this row 2 again for row 4. Alright, so now it's time for the other row, as I said. And what you're going to do is you're going to chain 2. 1, 2. You're going to turn our work. Okay. In this very last stitch, which is a half double crochet, we're going to put a half double crochet. So right there where those 2 chains are coming out of that stitch on the end, we're just going to slice the icing off the top of the cake like that. Yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops, and yarn over and go through everything. Now here, I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is the eye right here. That's the eye. It should be right next to where we just created that half double crochet. So I'll stick it in there like that, and I'm going to turn this around, and you see that's the eye, right? That's where we're going to put our next half double crochet. Okay, so you see where the eye is, the eye of that star. We'll turn it this way again to the side that we're working on. I'll pull this out. I just wanted to identify it for you. Okay, so right in there we're going to put a half double crochet right into that eye. So yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops, yarn over, go through everything. And now in every other eye, so there's an eye, there's an eye, there's an eye, there's an eye. All of these eyes, right? That's where we're going to put 2 half double crochets. Okay? Basically we're completing the star look. Okay? So just find the eyes. So here, yarn over, there's the next eye. And we'll put 1 half double crochet and back in there for the second half double crochet. Alright, here's the next eye right there. 1 half double crochet, back in there for the second half double crochet. Find the next eye, it's there. 1 half double crochet, back in there for the second half double crochet. Here's the next eye, 1 half double crochet, back in there for the second half double crochet. Here's the next eye, 1 half double crochet, back in there for the second half double crochet. Here's the next eye, 1 half double crochet, back in there for the second half double crochet. Alright, here's the next eye, the final eye, 1 half double crochet, back in there for the second half double crochet. Alright, so this is what we have, and don't worry, it's gonna look more like stars on the other side, okay? So the scarf may not be quite reversible. Alright, so now we're at the end. So at the end, we're going to put a half double crochet, but what you need to do is find the top of the stitch. So looking at it like this, it's like, I don't know where to go in there, right? Just looks like a mess. But if we rotate it, give ourselves an aerial view, you see the top, right? This is one side, that's the other side, that's the top of the stitch there, okay? So that's where we're going to go. So we will yarn over because we're making a half double crochet. Find that top. If you rotate it, give yourself an aerial view if that helps. Slice the icing. Okay, grab the entire top. Slice the icing off the top of the cake. Yarn over, pull through to the front. 3 loops, yarn over, go through everything. Okay, and you'll get better at identifying that on the end. You'll know to look for the top. Okay, so that is row 3. So now you're going to be alternating rows between rows 2 and 3. Alright, so now it's time to start row 2 again for row 4. How do we start row 2? We chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And remember, before you turn your work, I think it's easier to pull up the loops along these chains before you turn it over like that. Because we're not really working in those stitches yet, right? We're working in these chains. So I'll just start one more time. Skip the first one, go into the next one and pull up a loop. And remember, we want 6 loops on our crochet hook before we close it up. Okay? Now we go in the next chain and pull up another loop. Okay, now we're working in these stitches, so we now can rotate it like that. Okay? And the next stitch right there is the actual half double crochet. Okay? So we slice the icing, go through the entire stitch, and yarn over, pull up through a loop, or pull up a loop. We have 4 loops, we need 2 more. Next stitch, pull a loop. Next stitch, pull a loop. Now we have 6 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We yarn over, turn our crochet hook that way so we can go through everything without splitting our yarn. Okay? And now we chain 1 to create that eye. That's the eye. We're going to go in there and pull up a loop. Then we're going to take the eye down to the leg, pull up a loop. Then we're going to take the leg down to the foot, pull up a loop. Okay, we have 4 loops on our crochet hook right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need 2 more stitches. Next stitch, slice the icing, top of the cake. 4, 5. That's the 5th loop. And next stitch, pull up a loop for 6. Yarn over, go through everything. Chain 1, go through the eye, pull up a loop. Down to the leg, pull up a loop. Down to the foot, pull up a loop. And then 1, next stitch, 2. We have 6 loops. Yarn over, go through everything. Chain 1 to create the eye. And you'll just continue in that fashion, you guys. I don't know if you guys could see, but by doing row 3, which is the row of half double crochets, we basically completed the star. Okay? So yeah, continue in this fashion, and I'm going to meet you once, I guess it's almost time to wrap this up. Alright, have fun. See, it's not that hard. See you in a bit. Alright, so I decided to come back on with the solid color, just in case any of the newbies had trouble understanding what I was doing because of the variegated nature of the yarn that I'm using. Okay, so I am currently working on the half double crochet row. So if you turn around, you'll see I just finished a row of the stars. Okay, so I'll turn my work, I'll chain 2, 1, 2, and then remember, in that same stitch on the end, that same half double crochet on the end. That's where I'm going to put a half double crochet by slicing the icing off the top of the cake and just making a half double crochet like that. Now I'm going to look for the eye, the next eye, which is just right there. Okay, if we turn it, you see there's the eye of the star. So in there, I'm going to put one half double crochet. Now every other eye across, I'm going to put two half double crochets. So one, and then back in there for two. If you have a hard time identifying where the eye is on this side, just flip it over and it's a little bit easier to see. Here's the next eye, right? Because we just put two half double crochets in that eye. This is the next eye. And just continue doing that, okay? And I'm going to meet you once I get to the other side. So I'm almost done with this row. I have one more eye to put two half double crochet in. So that's one, back in there for two. And then remember on the end, that's where we put a half double crochet. And remember also that it can be hard to identify where to exactly go in there. But just kind of rotate it, give yourself an aerial view, and you'll see the top of the stitch right there. Okay? So that's where I'm going to put my half double crochet. Like that. Alright, now I am going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And now this is the star row. So remember, I like to keep it like this to pull up these loops out of these chains before I turn my work. It's just easier. Okay, so I bypass the first chain, go into the second one, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then I go into the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now I can turn my work like that, and in this very first stitch, I'm going to slice the icing off the top of the cake, pull up a loop. Remember, I continue doing this until I have a total of 6 loops on my crochet hook. Currently I only have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I go in the next one to pull up a loop for 5, and then in the next one to pull up a loop for 6. Alright, now I yarn over and I go through all these loops. Don't forget to turn your crochet hook like that so you can go through very easily. Now we're going to chain 1, and when we do, we're going to create the eye. So now I'm going to go in the eye, pull up a loop. Now remember, I'm going to go into the leg. Okay, so I'm going to go down the body from the eye to the leg there and pull up a loop. Remember, you guys, that the leg goes down to the foot. So at the base, I'm going to go down to the foot now and pull up a loop. I have 4 loops. I need 2 more. So I'm going to need to use these next 2 stitches. So I go into the next stitch, slicing the icing off the top of the cape and pull up a loop for 5. And in the next stitch, slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through, pulling up a loop for 6. Now that I have 6 loops on my crochet hook, I can yarn over, make sure my crochet hook is turned like that, and just very easily go through all the loops. Now I chain 1, and in that eye I just created, I'll pull up a loop. So I pull up a loop. Leg, I pull up a loop. Foot, at the base, I pull up a loop. Now 1 step, 2 step, and now I have 6 loops. Yarn over, go through everything. Okay? Chain 1, go into the eye, go into the leg, go into the foot. 1 step, 2 step. I have 6 loops. Yarn over, go through everything. Chain 1, eye, leg, foot. 1 step, 2 step. Yarn over, go through everything. Chain 1, eye, leg, foot. 1 step, 2 step. Yarn over, go through everything. Chain 1, and so on and so forth. Okay? So hopefully, if you weren't understanding or able to see what was happening with the other yarn, hopefully you now have a better understanding. Now it's time to get back to that because it's time to finish that scarf off. So I just completed a star loop, and for symmetry's sake, I'm going to end with a row of single crochet. Why? Because I started this project, this scarf, with a row of single crochet, and then I got into the stars. So let's do it. I chain 1, I turn my work, and in that same stitch I'm going to put a single crochet. Okay? And now I'm just going to put single crochets the same way I would have if it was going to be a row of half double crochets. So everywhere I would have put a half double crochet, that's where I'm going to put a single crochet. So if I look here, here's the eye right there. So I'm going to put one in there. Okay, and now I'm going to find the next eye, and now this eye will get 2 single crochets. So remember, the first eye gets 1 stitch, but then every other eye gets 2. So I just find every other eye and put 1 or 2 single crochets in each one. So next eye, 1 single crochet, back in there for 2. Next eye, 1 single crochet, back in there for 2. And don't forget, if you have a hard time identifying where the eyes are, don't hesitate to turn it around and look. It's easier to kind of identify them on this side where you can see clearly the star. Next eye, 1 single crochet, back in there for 2. Next eye, 1 single crochet, back in there for 2. Final eye, 1 single crochet, back in there for 2. And then don't forget, in that final stitch where we would normally put a half double crochet, to put a single crochet. Alright, I'm going to chain 1, cut my yarn, and fasten off. Okay. Now it's time to weave in these tails at the beginning and at the end. So let me get my darning weave and tapestry needle, and we'll do that. So with this tail, we're going to weave it into our darning weave and tapestry needle like that, and we're just going to feed it in one direction through some stitches. I'm going to try to go through the stitches that are the same color as the yarn that I'm weaving in. Okay, like that. And then kind of stretch it back out to its original shape. And then I'm going to take a slightly different path, going back in the opposite direction, like that. Okay? And you can weave back and forth how many ever times you want until you feel like the yarn is secure and it's not going to unravel. Alright, once you're there, then you cut your yarn. Okay? And there you go. So I know I said at the beginning that I don't know if this is reversible, but I think because of the variegated nature of this yarn, I take that back. I rescind that statement because, let me zoom out a little bit, I think this is an absolutely beautiful scarf on either side. Okay, obviously, you know, the magic is in the star stitch. That was the purpose of making this video. But when you look at this side with those colors, oh my gosh, it's just so absolutely beautiful. Okay, all right, so now let's go to the star stitch side. That's a tongue twister. And yeah, obviously you know, we don't need to say anything about that. Obviously, that is definitely where the magic is. Okay, so for those beginners who were afraid to attempt this stitch, this pattern, you see that it's very easy. And you know, as with any pattern, once you learn it, once you commit it to memory, then it really is essential. It really is a piece of cake. So hopefully you will try this, have success, and that will give you the confidence to try other seemingly difficult patterns in the future. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video, but you know I will see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting!